All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Global Labs reading. So, this came out as of March 15th, so a few days ago. I was a little busy, I didn't get a chance to actually check it out. But I heard there was a bunch of quality of life things that were pretty interesting to talk about. So, I kind of skimmed it, but didn't really read through it properly, and that's what we're going to be doing now. So, if you don't know, Global Labs is like the PTS, PTR test server, and usually the things that happen there come out to the live servers in about like 2 weeks. So usually a lot of people just don't read these, and I think it's good to actually look at these every now and then just to see like, hey, this event is coming out in 2 weeks. Maybe I should prepare for this and gather up in some materials and stuff. But yeah, usually just pre-patch notes and things that are going to be changed. So I'll leave a link in the description to this if you want to read it as well. It's just the Global Labs patch notes, and I translated this from like Korean to English, so I'll try to make it make sense. So first of all, let's see, class modifications and improvements. Valkyries are getting a lot of changes, it looks like. Admittedly, I don't have enough knowledge to know what all of this actually is, but I'd like to think that some of these changes are pretty good. And or the last thing I remember about Valkyrie was playing it on my season like I think last year, and you know how you could press like 2 buttons and just do a big infinite loop of just like 2 buttons, and then they kind of remove that so it works differently. Yeah, I haven't played it since then, so it looks like this is more of a change to how it like plays more than any balance changes. So we'll see how that plays out. I really couldn't tell you too much about that. Hashashin getting changed as well. The attack range has been unified to the widest range, so this seems like a buff, more AoEs. The issue where the plus 10 effect to all attack power for 20 seconds using Dune has not been applied immediately. I heard Hash is like really strong in both PvE and PvP, but I just don't have enough experience with this one either. So all of these look like a buff. I just don't know what I'm talking about. Shai fixed the issue where the light contained in the summoned Vitzari. Is that Vitz Clari, like the awakening weapon? This is translated, by the way. So did not follow any nearby allies when using the skill. Okay, cool. All right, so this is the stuff that I kind of browsed earlier. Life skilling, cooking, they're making this easier. So you know how like when you cook, you get byproducts, and so every now and then you get like a random quest pop up and it's like, here, cook this, and then you get some prizes and rewards. So let's see, you can randomly accept 1 of 9, hand over various things, and then you get to change it. So this is what it was before, and then here's what it is after. Accept 1 of the unexpected requests below, so like 1 of 9, and is changing to pickled vegetables, and then there are more rewards that you get for completing. So if I'm reading this correctly, it's like before it was a random quest, and now it's like the same quest. So pickled vegetables are about to like either tank or go up. I do think pickled vegetables actually is a very good way, or like a thing to cook if you're going for byproducts and like the stuff like the cooking thing. And also I think it was actually pretty good XP. I don't know about anymore, but it was back in the day. It probably still is, like it's not like that changed. But yeah, pickled vegetables was definitely a very high XP thing to make. So I think this is overall a good change. Is it a big change? Like, will you profit more? No, it's just more rewards on top of what you would normally already do, and it's 1 quest instead of 9, so you know what you can stock up and prepare on. So I think that's good. So these are just like procs randomly when you get them. All right, alchemy. This is actually one thing that I hope is going to fix something. So the byproducts, like the things you get randomly by crafting, has been changed. I think they increased the odds of you getting alchemy stones, Capris, and crons, and then newly obtainable items are mysterious powder, which is to recharge your alchemy stone. Leather glaze is for upgrading alchemy, or if you do tanning and making those like leather things, and then makes the highest tier for crafting. And the wood reinforcement is like if you take the plywood and do that sturdy plywood or whatever the highest one is. And then they removed Capra stones 40 to 60. The gold bars, Yona's, and golden backpack. I don't know why. Like, these weren't really a problem. However, the problem in this game, this is more of like a mid-tier to end-game problem more than anything. You guys know how Alchemy Stones have, like, I'm pretty sure Pearl Abyss forgot these existed. And for all of you who are at the end game, basically, for about 99% of us, Vel's Heart would be considered best in slot. But for the people who go above and beyond, you get the Splendid, and I guess that's it. The Shining is like very hard to get, considering the one above it would be, or Shining one below, is extremely hard to get. So yeah, if they add more of these alchemy stones into alchemy, and these are more obtainable, I think more people would actually be able to like craft upwards, enhance. I know most people don't have any idea how alchemy stones actually work, because if you are a new player, chances are, here's how it works. If you're a new player, you do the Ulukita questline to get the Ator's Power Stone. Very entry-level Alch Stone, and it's rechargeable. People who are like the intermediate level will probably go for the Khan's Heart, which is like the 2 AP one. And I think that's fine, I guess. If you can get one, I wouldn't really buy it, but like if you get one, then that's cool. And then Vel's Heart would be considered best in slot for the majority of us. And one up would be the Splendid Stone, which let me actually show you this in game. Let me see real quick. All right, so as you guys know, let's look at Alch Stones. So here's how it works. Most of us have the Vel, right? But then the one for Splendid is actually better than the Vel's Heart, but it's at a very endgame level. So most people, it wouldn't really be relevant. And so the reason why is, you may think of this and be like, oh, okay, so 3 AP on your sheet, that's good. But at the end game, if you look at it, it's like 8 AP for the effect plus 3 AP. And then, assuming this doesn't put you up into a new bracket, that's plus 11, right? And then you get all of the extra attack, cast speed, ignore, resist, and accuracy. This one gives 13 AP for the effect while it's on. Although it doesn't put you into any sheet brackets, this is 11, this is 13, more accuracy, attack, cast speed, and resistance. So technically better, and that's why it's better than the Vel at endgame. And then Shining is basically impossible to get, so you have to be extremely lucky, and I'm pretty sure there's like less than 5 people in this game that have them. I don't know. Yeah. So with that said, they really need to actually make it so alchemy stones can be crafted a lot easier. And the way I would do it is, one, the whole like enhancing system for this kind of dumb. And so the way you get it right now is, if you do alchemy, you have a chance of getting like one of these stones, right? For destruction, protection, and life. And what you would do is you basically recharge it, and then you hit it with a black stone, and just like a 3% it goes. And then when it upgrades, it would go to like this one, then there's a 3%. So basically getting these is extremely lucky. It's like basically going above and beyond pen. And yeah, so here's how I'd fix it. Allow it to be cron-stoned. That's all it takes. And then if it doesn't break, all people would have to do is get one of these, and you basically slam it infinitely until it goes to like Splendid and Shining. But I think really, like, I'm pretty sure they forgot this item exists in the game because they want like Vel's Heart to be the best in slot. But really, like, Vel's is really good. It's just Splendid is for the super hardcore players like myself. So that's about it. So the fact that they're doing something about alchemy, and I don't think it's really going to help, but if they raise the rates enough, it might be decent. So there's my rant on that. All right, so back to the patch notes. So yeah, increase the probability of Alchemy Stones, which I hope they increase it enough to the point where it matters, because I would like to get a Splendid one day. This is actually a big one that I've talked about in previous videos as well. You know the daily and weekly boss scrolls that you pick up from the Black Spirit, right? You get like normal one, or you can get 5 awakening ones and turn it into awakening one, right? So they're actually going to be removing all of these dailies and weeklies, and then I think maybe having some sort of better system, and hopefully it's good, because I actually hate picking these up every day. Yeah, I think that's important. And yeah, so if you have them, wait till this happens to actually see how much silver we're getting, because chances are, if you have a lot of these stockpiled, it's not really worth a lot. So yeah, I've run a lot of these, and honestly, most of the time, it's just garbage. Oh yeah, so they're adding 2 new Dehkia grind spots. This is very important, because for all of you who are going for the Archaeologist map, the Pila prison and the, Sulfur mine, they're adding 2 spots. So this is actually good, especially for myself personally, because I've never gotten the Archaeologist map, because like, I just didn't really want to grind at those spots. I've had a lot of hours at Pila, but that's about it. So the fact that they're adding these is good, because they have treasure spots, or these are treasure spots for the Archaeologist map, and I think it's awesome. So one thing I have noticed as a pattern in the Dehkia spots is it's kind of inconsistent in terms of difficulty. So for example, this is kind of only something that endgame players will relate to, but if you've ever done like Dehkia Thornwood or Dehkia Histria and Achman, they're fairly easy. And then you go to Dehkia Ash Forest and you almost get clapped. It's like, they really need to change how, like, the numbers, because I don't want people going there and be like, oh, so I tried this one, it's easy, and go to Ash and it's not easy. So it's one of those things where you just kind of have to know, and Ash Forest for Dehkia is not good. The drop rate for Debos, not even that much higher, and it's like you're sweating there. So anyway, I'm very excited for the Pila and Sulfur mine Dehkia spots. We'll be doing that in the future. We'll make some videos when it comes out, and hopefully getting our Archaeologist map. So yeah, I hope everything is good, and it's also going to be dropping Deboreka earrings from what I've heard, which means that there are now 5 spots that drop Debo earrings, which in theory, I hope this means it's easier to get. And Deboreka earrings, 1, it's a endgame item. 2, I'm nervous because when the ring comes out, the earrings are going to be irrelevant if you like can't get it. So yeah, it's a very questionable thing right now. It is best in slot, but you know, a year down the line from now, when the rings come out, who knows? So yeah, we'll see. So let's see what's next. this is Black Shrine stuff, even though it doesn't have like a, title like this one does. The Bamboo Legion Black Shrine boss has been changed. When the boss leaves the area, the commander has been modified to return in his initial appearance location. However, his vitality does not recover. Admittedly, I haven't done Bamboo 7 yet, so or 6. So I had no idea. A warning message will be modified before the adventurer leaves the battle area. That's pretty good, I honestly think that the whole Land in the Morning Light Black Shrine bosses was like an experiment, because there's a lot of things, even to this day, that I think all it takes is one person who actually plays this game to tell you what the problems are. So like right now, they made a very good quality of life thing where you can just do the bosses from wherever and not have to be in Land in the Morning Light. I think that's amazing. That's a great feature. The one thing that right now I think is kind of annoying is when you die and you have to restart, there's two options: retry and return, like return to the original area. However, at very high end, you really do have to go like full elixirs, or you have to like rebuff for that. So when you retry, you don't have the option to like turn on your fairy or pop your buffs while mid boss, which I think is kind of annoying. I wish if they were to change it, just add the ability to pop buffs while the boss is starting, because most of the time, you know how when the boss first starts, I would say for most of them, you have like 5 to 6 or a few seconds of downtime where you can just pop your buffs, but you usually have to return and then pop and then go in again. So that's kind of annoying. That would just be one quality of life thing that I would add, aside from, coming out with 8 to 10 difficulty, and I'm waiting for that. We'll talk about that when that actually happens, though. And knowledge and stuff. So let's see. Improvements have been made so that characters who have progressed through the, I think this is storyline, Jordine's Saga, can acquire knowledge through methods, just by doing the quest line, I guess. Very cool. One thing that I actually noticed a while ago, this isn't recent, it's about maybe 3 months probably at this point. So for all of you who did the main story quest on an old character, you can now redo it all again, and it gives quest progression towards your 30,000 and so on. So yeah, even my main was able to redo all the quest lines, which I guess I'll go through over and over again. So I didn't know if that was a bug or not, but apparently no one's ever said anything about it. And I know I did the quest line on my main, and now I have the option to just do it again. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do it. All right, so background, NPC effects, and cutscenes. When boarding a ship and moving automatically, the reef near the next location has been removed to make movement smoother. Ocean content has actually been a little bit weird over the years. So they're making a lot of quality of life changes, as in navigation. They took out the whole I didn't think they took out the wind currents, but it's not as intense as it used to be, because back in the day, there was in the ocean where the tides are going up and down, so you guys knew what the colors meant, white to red or orange or whatever. And so you have to kind of know routes and patterns in Margoria. Nowadays, I heard it's not that bad. So quality of life wise, very good. But in terms of ocean content, it's not there. So if you did everything years ago, what have they added over the past few years in terms of ocean content? They added the Lekrashan stuff and the Hollow Maretta boss, the Siren, which I want to do eventually. I've just been really lazy. So yeah, new areas that came up with cool stuff. UI. There's actually been a bug that I've noticed, and it's been like, you know how certain UI elements have not been able to remove it? You know how you could like turn things on and off? Things have just been on and you can't turn it off. It's been broken. So yeah, I think that's under bug report or bug fixes, and those will be changed. Seal items. Oh my god, there's a lot of text. Oh, so all of these like byproduct things that people get from doing various awards. If they're making a UI to just collect all of these in one, dude, that's huge. This is such a nice thing. If only they had it 8 years ago. But yeah, instead of talking to like all the NPCs, they'd be like, okay, I want to turn this in. I want to pick up this quest to get this reward. If it's all in one and I could just click all these boxes in about 5 seconds, huge. Nice change. Items stored in integrated goods UI. Okay, so basically all the life skill rewards, event things, very cool. Scheduled to be changed to reward seals. I'm gonna be honest, these are all the event items that have probably been collected over the years. So if you're a new player, you probably won't even know what half of these things are. I have personally kept a lot of these things I thought as mementos from like me playing this game 8 years, and I just kind of have random things. But if that means it's getting sorted and my inventory and storages are going to be cleaner, that's amazing. I'm all for that. So that's awesome. Wait for a few weeks and that'll be cool. All right, so Wandering Alchemist. It's the UI, or it's going to be easier to convert these into the bigger one. So like, you know how it's 3-to-1 trade up. Now you can actually do it without like accidentally dunking your strike crystal. Not that anyone has ever done that, but I'm glad that they make it easier. And like, all they really need to add is a confirm button, but this works too. Various changes, seasonals. A lot of these are just like quality of life things, sort changes. In certain areas, the warrior's battle stance has been modified to look more neutral. Names and lines of certain characters in the Dalball village have been modified to sound more natural. I have to be very careful with this one. It's like actually something that like if you're trying to make things appropriate and like fit in with the actual theme, you just have to make things very careful to make sure it's still correct. The issue where icons would intermittently appear overlapping the UI after using the archaeologist map or Lofty Bed Mountains compass has been fixed. I have the compass, I don't have the archaeologist map, but I never really noticed an issue with that. But if it's a problem and it's getting fixed, excellent. Yeah, that's about it. So with that said, that's about it for the Global Labs patch notes. This is probably coming out either at the end of March or probably the first week of April. So yeah, you guys can prepare for all of that. As a recap, the only thing that I think is really relevant is, you know, besides the quality of life, the new updates for the 2 Dehkia spots, which I think are awesome. I'll be trying that out on day 1. And yeah, with that said, that's all from me today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to your channel, hit that subscribe button. Would love to see you come back. Drop a quick like as well. And if you have any questions, drop in the comments, or you could join the Discord. I have a lot of guides to all the stuff that I thought were interesting or notable. And so if you want to check those out, I have a channel in the Discord. If you don't want to talk to anyone and you just want to watch the guide videos, very cool. You can find all of my updated guides there. And yeah, hopefully you guys improve as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.